This is the first time that we've had. Sheri.
Yeah.
Are you still nervous? A little bit?
Yes, no. I'm fine.
Well, welcome everybody to another episode of the Bar Podcast, the Mental Health Hour. So this is pretty fun tonight. We have something special planned. It is my wife and I's 32nd anniversary, and I'm so blessed to have you here, Squirrel. About that. This is pretty cool, though. We've been trying to do this for a little while, where we would have a lady, and you definitely are a lady.
Thank you.
And have you come on and kind of give us some perspective from a female's point of view. So we're pretty excited to do that. But you're going to do your best?
I'm going to do my best.
All right. Well, make sure people can hear you there on that microphone, okay? Because you might get used to this thing, and before you know it, man, you're going to have your own show, Sheri.
I might.
Huh?
I might. You never know. It's contagious.
See, most of the time we got to ask guests like, hey, where are you from? All this stuff. But we have our amazing producer, Austin G. Leum, throwing himself up there on the main cam anyways, helping us out tonight. So we have it's a family deal here tonight.
I know. Look at us.
The only one we're missing is the bean.
It's okay.
But, we can only hope that she would come on.
Yeah.
So anyways, here, before we get going, a couple things as we always do. We want to thank Indie Coffee Roasters here in Carmel. Cece, thank you. Appreciate you. We want to thank Indie Coffee Roasters anyways. They have 3 locations in central Indiana, one right here in downtown Carmel, one on the north end, which is pretty cool, and then also one on the Purdue campus. Oh, I wanted to make sure, are we recording on that? Just to that's probably good so the camera doesn't shut off. Clark, I just remembered that, so that was probably my job. There we go. We got the red light now. We didn't want to get shut off,
right.
So we were Homegrown Podcast, Sheri.
Yeah,
you've seen this before, right?
I've seen this before.
So anyways, want to thank Indie Coffee Roasters for allowing us to come in here and hang out and do this. They've done some new painting, a little bit of cool background.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Cool background, and right here in downtown Carmel on Main Street.
Downtown.
So
It's a good cup. It's a good cup.
it's a good cup?
Yeah, it's a good
You
cup.
like your coffee, so you know, don't you?
I do.
Uh-huh. That's good. So cool, man. Well, we hope you guys enjoy this. You can find us on all the social media platforms, Spotify, Amazon, Apple Music. Like and subscribe to our channel. If you are listening tonight, definitely go out and do that. We're trying to get to 500 subscribers by the end of the year, so 2025, that'll be a big goal for us. But we're going to jump right in here. So,
right.
Yeah, we're going to jump
Let's
right
do
in.
it.
So, I know we practiced this a little last night.
We did a little.
A little?
We did a little.
Do you remember what we were going to talk about first?
Well, yeah. Well, not first, but let's just go. You just ask me.
Just go with it?
Yeah.
All right, we're just going to roll with it then. So, I'm going to look here. We might have some questions here before we get going. Oh, we did get one. It says, why is her nickname Squirrel? So, we'll come back to that. But anyways, Sheri, so thanks for coming on. We appreciate it. All the people that listen appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
The question that we said would start out with is we think it's important to get a female's perspective on mental health. And so we thought, what a great first question to ask you. Like, what do you think is maybe the differences and how maybe ladies and females address mental health and talk about it versus maybe what guys do?
Okay. So I see as women talk to women, like our friends, like we instill in them, we share things that maybe men don't share with each other.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And I just feel like, gals hang out, most of the time that's why we hang out. I mean, we talk about what's going on in our lives and share things that men don't really share with each other, with their personal lives or some things that they're going through.
Do you think it's easier for ladies to do that?
I don't know if it's easier. I think just like men don't tend to be outward with what they're going through.
Yeah.
Where women are more connected in
in
that bond.
Why do you think that is? Is there any reason behind that? Do you think that they're that you can think of?
I don't know that there's any reason. It probably stems from a lineage of stuff like, men aren't supposed to be
open. Yeah.
And they're supposed to be the providers. They're supposed to wear everything inside and
Suck it up
carry
kind of
on,
stuff.
carry on,
Yeah, I mean, as you know, it's interesting doing this way. I probably should mention too, for those that listen, I always try to do this try to put myself in the shoes of somebody listening into this, and so if you are listening to it, we're a men's mental health support group, and so we tend to come on here and talk about different topics and things like that guys might be going through specifically, but we also have a pretty broad net. And I think, one of the big reasons why I thought it would be fun to have you on tonight is just to get that different perspective. And I know that we've heard many times before that, that women and females typically have a more genuine openness, I think, to be able to share with one another. And, I tend to agree with it, at least from what I've read and what I've heard and things like that. And but it's great to get that. So let me ask you another question, I guess, from a standpoint of how or maybe when or how that might come out. Is there anything that you can think of, like as an example, maybe that when, is it more social setting, I guess, or is it planned or things like that? Because I think for guys, man, it's really hard, but I think for guys, if a guy opens up, a guy may be more likely to share. So,
sure.
But for women, maybe it's a little different.
Yeah, I think women share in any setting. I mean, there's a lot of settings that they share in, and I think women can connect in different ways, maybe than men can too. I feel like, even at my age, like I have friends and we've been through a lot, at this point. And so we're confident in each other. And I think as you share, you help that woman along too, and we've all been through things at this point. So I feel like women can share in a lot of different ways, even within work. I have women that I share things with there, and I think there's a lot of different avenues for women to share.
So it's definitely a trust thing, right? Like just trusting somebody.
I think it is.
So that's a good point too. From a work perspective, you've recently, in the last couple of years, taken on a new role. I don't have to say where, but you've taken on a new role and you're around a lot of different men and women, but a lot of women anyways. And so do you see like I don't know, I suppose it's like anything else, right? You start to build a relationship with somebody and then you start to trust, and then all of a sudden, you find yourself sharing, bless you, Clark, sharing with one another, right? You know what I mean? Sharing with one another, maybe what the day looks like and things like that.
Yeah, you do. I mean, just in general, little things, and then they turn into other things, and you just create these relationships. And I think it's not like your best friend, of course you share things with, but it's also just women who are just in your life, and you share different parts.
Yeah. Hey, Austin, throw that slide up that we have on the kind of the statistics, and I think it's kind of interesting. What is it? Is it 79? What is the statistic on that again?
So it's women are more 79% to 60%. Women are more likely than men to contact friends, relatives, or neighbors outside the household almost daily.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, man. I think that sometimes. And I wanted to pull that in because I was doing a little background today, but I just think that's interesting in terms of like, why? You know what I mean? Like, why? I mean, we've had a lot of discussion, Austin, and you've had a lot, but I mean, it's that question of like, what makes a lady or a woman or a female, whatever, feel comfortable to like, hey, I'm going to call this person today, or I'm going to reach out today, or I'm going to do this today. And I don't know, man. I mean, that's why we're here.
Yeah. I mean, I think there can be a lot of different attributes to that. I mean, the easy answer to that is just the biological makeup of a male versus a female, and testosterone and estrogen. So, with that, men are more risky, engage in things like that, and women are the more calm and inviting and, hey, let's, I got something to talk about. I want to talk about it, rather than a male going through something. Yeah. They're going to, I'm going to go drive my car really fast on the highway and things like that to get rid of these stresses and worries.
It is. It's a great point, man. I think you're spot on with it, and I think guys, man, so I was kind of forward thinking into this, like how long do you think it'll be before for a guy, right, for a male, because of that kind of biological makeup and what we do as a provider, but it will, I don't want to say dilute itself out, but get to a point where the stigma around being open becomes more normal than non-normal, because it still feels non-normal today.
Yeah. I think it's come a ways, right? I mean, it's going in the right direction.
Yeah, I do too. I think that. I mean, we talk a lot. So, and we're like, listen, man, for the audience out there, as I sit here and we host this show and we host Building a Refuge, I'm grateful. I'm so blessed and grateful that I can sit here and do this with my family. Because we are very open, and I think that's huge part of being able to express yourself, let stuff out, and just kind of, create an environment of, I don't want to just say freedom, but create an environment of kind of calm or comfort anyways. But, so I think there is a difference there for sure. Talk to me a little bit about, I almost called you Squirrel. So maybe we're going to come back to that, because one of our questions was how'd you got the nickname. So we'll come back to that again. But I think, from a standpoint of going back to kind of what you're talking to around teaching and stuff like that, right? What I think, and tell me if I'm off base here, but I think when women go through challenges, I feel like because you all go through challenges just like guys do. I mean, whether that might be, loss of a loved one or job changes or, anything, loss of a friend, just anything, man. It can be who knows what. But I feel like when that happens, y'all are more apt at asking for insight, like, hey, am I thinking about this the right way? Or, what do you think? Like you're like, I feel like you're more apt at asking those questions openly. Is that true?
I think so. I think women are more comfortable with women than men are comfortable with men.
That's fair.
But yeah, I mean, and it depends on who you're with too. I mean, that woman has to be trusted. I mean, you're not just gonna, blurt out to,
Have you ever come across somebody like just random that you've opened up to ever?
Maybe not me.
Yeah.
Maybe not random.
I don't know. I've been with you in settings before, and you've come back and be like, man, I just met this really cool,
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, but nothing that would be super, like.
Do you think that's abnormal? Like, I mean, I know you, like, for you're probably not as much of an extrovert maybe as, me.
I don't think it's abnormal.
Yeah.
I think every woman's different, right? I mean, and like, for me, I have to have a little bit of a trust level before I talk to somebody or instill in somebody. But some women, I mean, I feel like they can, I mean, share with, or share with anybody. But I don't think.
You don't, well, I don't know. I mean, I see. I think a lot of what it is too is it's like for guys, man. I mean, I don't know. At least when it comes to heavy shit, you know what I mean? That's the stuff that we talk about here, right? It's the heavy stuff that, I think that we're talking about. It's not like, oh, what shirt should I wear today, Clark? Or, hey, Clark, should I wear a hat or not a hat? Or, hey, Joe, like, I don't know if I like this kind of coffee, but I like this kind of coffee. You know what I mean? My buddy Joe is here too. So, but you know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's little stuff like that. I think it's heavy shit, man. I think it's like, hey, man, I'm going through a divorce, or I just lost my job, or I'm like way over my head financially. I don't know what to do. I can't talk to anybody, blah, 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 blah. I think those are the things that, like, what I've learned through building a refuge have been big kind of heavy things.
But like you as a man, like, would you instill in just anybody? Like, have you ever like just talked to anybody?
I've probably gotten more comfortable with asking like asking a question. I might pose a question to somebody, like, especially since what we talk about here too is suicide prevention, and we support that, as many know, we've, in our family, right, we've gone through that twice in 10 years. And, Clark here in our audience, he's gone through the same thing. And so I think what I've done is maybe ask the question of somebody like, hey, have you ever experienced this? You know what I mean? And so that's kind of twisted it a little bit to where a conversation can open up.
Yeah.
So, but you have to be prepared too. Like when you ask that question, you got to be prepared for somebody to say, no, I have no idea what that is. And you have to be prepared for saying, yeah, I've lost somebody recently, or I've lost somebody in the last 10 years or whatever. You know what I mean? But I will say this. I'll tell you this for sure. When I've asked those kind of questions, no matter what, a conversation develops. So that's kind of
anybody you talk to. Conversation develops.
Well,
but
I mean,
but I hear what you're saying, and like.
So Austin, I mean, I'll ask you this too, man, because I mean, again, we're very blessed. We can do this, right? And you've been such a courageous young man to be able to share your story, but even around being sober and living a sober life. I mean, how do you have you asked that question of anybody before? Like, if they are, or maybe have experienced it or things like that, like to develop a conversation?
It has been I'll say a part of not necessarily how I start a conversation, but in my mind, when I'm having a conversation with someone new, I try to find a way of how can I maneuver something into this to educate this person. Yeah. And this goes all the way back to when Building a Refuge started. Had we not gone through an event with Uncle Brent like we did, and start to really learn more about mental health and suicide and things like that, I don't think I would necessarily be where I am today, even in the terms of opening up and coming to you guys when I needed help to get sober. There was a lot of contributing factors to that. But, now the way I look at it is, whether somebody is going through an addiction trouble or, another mental health crisis, I kind of turn it to use what I've learned through, this year and 5 months and what I learned in treatment to help them and educate them in a way, I possibly can. And that could be something as little as, like you said, like, man, I'm scraping by until my next check, or, man, my boss is really stressing me out. It could be anything like that. And I just, and we're very, tightly knit in faith as well. And that's a lot of the way. And I don't press my beliefs on anybody.
Sure.
But, the biggest thing I tell them is just like find something bigger than yourself. To drive you and bring you towards things.
Yeah, and I mean your decision, man. I mean your decision to like I tell your story. One, because I'm your dad, and secondly because I think it helps people, but especially with what we do around Building a Refuge. But man, I tell your story so much, and people are always like, man, to have the courage to. To step out, like really step out, man.
And continue to outreach, to continue to try to reach people and want to help people. That's incredible.
So I'll throw some other questions out here, Sheri, just around mental health in general, and I think trying to get a female perspective of things. But you mentioned earlier, like friends are a big deal, right? Your friends are a big deal. Do you feel like when you're in social settings, like with friends and so on, that no matter what it is, whether you're at a bar or whether you're at church or whether who knows where, right? That, like you tend to like conversations develop naturally in those settings.
Yeah. I mean, I think when you're with your friends and you plan a dinner out, you just naturally talk about your life, and that's why we go to dinner. Yeah. We want to talk about things and get through things together, know, as women. I mean, we have experience, together, and one's experience is different than the other's, and they can add a lot and have a lot of inspiration and courage and different things they've went through that add on to you and what you're going through.
Do you see that like ladies, women, might be better at kind of like if you're in a conversation like that and somebody's struggling, like more like even the statistics that we were just sharing, like more apt to reach back out to them, like, hey, how you doing, or send a text or whatever, or call.
It stays on your mind, it stays on your mind, and you check on them. You do.
No, that's cool. What about because I know you read a lot, like what about just kind of being able to, like, I know you've read a lot of books kind of on, grief or, different things like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How does that come into play into your, like, overall, like, mental state of mind, I guess, when you get into a conversation if a topic might come up to share or what have you?
Every grief is different. And every grief is treated differently, and you have different stages of grief. And I guess it all depends on where you're at with it. But what do you mean, like?
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, just things that you may pick up, right? I mean, like, I know, again, we've, and we'll talk a little bit about this here in a few minutes, but, as a family in the last 15 years, we've experienced a lot of loss, family members, friends, things like that. And to your point, I just know you because obviously I live with you. So, I see you read a lot and I'll ask you, like, hey, what's that book about, right?
Yeah.
And you'll say, oh, it's about this. And I know some of the books that you have read, maybe they're fiction, maybe they're, they're not, maybe they're autobiographies, whatever. But you learn from them, and I know that you take that. I know you take it and you use it, either apply it in what you do every day or you're applying it in your social life.
Yeah. Yeah. And but I think grief, that's a big big thing, right? Like, and everybody, when you go into grief, with my mom, with my dad, my mom and my dad are both different griefs, Brent is a different grief, and you go through stages. You have the initial grief, which is heartbreaking and understandable or ununderstandable sometimes, but then you go into different stages, and even after they're gone for a while, it's just like, you just sometimes you want them to be there so bad, and then you go through a different grief. It's a whole
so talk to me about, because it just hit me, this just hit me too, like, talk to me about, because I know that you've come back from different dinners with friends or being out, and you've shared, how you're feeling or maybe what you're going through. Is it easier, do you think, for ladies to do that over guys? Because I don't know if I've actually went out somewhere and, like, talked about what grief it's felt like to me. I've probably been a little bit more open, you know what I mean? But, like, how is it easier? Or how does it come out?
What
like, how
does
it
by easier?
Well, I don't. Yeah, easier is not probably the right word. But is it more? Is it like, how does it come out? Like, if you're in a setting with somebody and you're sharing with somebody, about, like, experiences that you're going through, and we'll just stay on grief. But like, how it would come out, because I know you've come back before and you're like, man, I shared my story tonight, or I shared what I was going through, and I got this back.
Yeah, and I think it's sometimes you don't expect that conversation, but it comes up, and it can be a beautiful conversation, with somebody who has experienced the same things as you have, because sometimes you feel alone. You feel like you're on a lone boat, and once the dust has settled from that loss of that person or family member, sometimes you feel like you're on a little raft in the middle of the ocean, and you're by yourself.
Yeah.
And then you go to dinner and it comes up, and you get to talk about it to your friend, and you're like, wow, there are life rafts around me, and, like, there are, people who understand what I'm going through.
Yeah.
But sometimes you feel really alone, but I think those friends can ground you, and they've been through things, my friends have all suffered loss.
Yeah. And I love that. I love that perspective. I think that, I love the fact that you phrase it like you have a beautiful conversation with somebody, and I don't know if guys do that or not. Again, I'm probably a little bit biased, and my buddy Clark's here, and Joe's here, and Austin's here, and guys that I've learned how to be comfortable with.
Well, you may phrase it a different way.
Yeah.
I don't know, like. But I know you guys have had great
yeah.
Helpful.
So that's okay. So let's ask this question. And that's one of the topics that I want to talk about too tonight is from a standpoint of, like, my spouse, you're my wife, how have you seen me change over the last few years in terms of what we've done with building a refuge? And so let's just say post 2015.
Okay. Change?
Yeah.
A lot. I mean, in a great way. I mean, I don't think
I love Austin. He starts laughing. It's great.
It was never bad. I mean,
no, I get it.
But
yeah.
I think your compassion. I mean, you've always had compassion.
Yeah.
But you are so compassionate about what you're doing and what Building a Refuge stands for, and you know, the loss of Brent. You know, I saw you go through many stages of grief and changes, you know, and it has layers, and you have gone through many layers in those years, and you have grown, and you have taught other people how to grow within their suffering problems, and I don't think, and it's not, you know, you always say
I get
it's
it, man.
not just
I love that. So it's one thing for our audience. I mean, we're transparent with one another, right? I mean, that's what it is.
And so you have created a bond of men that are doing this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible. It's incredible to see the growth of men, and the men I have seen going through Building a Refuge.
But that's what I want. That's what I want people to like get out of this episode is we did this because I want people to hear your perspective of it.
Yeah.
And yes, I can sit here and say, yeah, I changed, I did this, I did that, you know, and I went through this or I went through that. But from your binoculars looking at me,
it's huge because when Brent died,
took his life,
died by suicide, that brought out in you, I mean, and that was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And people weren't talking. People were not talking about suicide. They weren't.
No.
They weren't. Like, and it has evolved, and you are on the front end.
Yeah.
Building Refuge has been on. You guys started this 10 years
I think
ago,
some of it,
anybody was talking about it.
Yeah, I definitely think some of it, you know,
the passion is,
because our family had not been impacted by suicide up until that point. No. Now I've had some friends, family. I had a couple of great friends of mine back in high school that had taken their own life. I mean, you know, I'd heard about it, but I'd never have impacted it like that close, right? And so you know, I think there's kind of two things there, right? Because I always ask myself, man, I'm real about this shit. So I always ask myself sometimes if we hadn't have had to experience this twice. So Sophia, our stepsister as well, which is unbelievable to even say, you know, would I be doing this for one? Right? Would I still be as passionate around this for one? I don't know the answer to that question, but I do know this. Austin mentioned this a little bit earlier, and I appreciate that he did. You know, my faith in Christ is very strong, and my relationship, I know ours is very strong, right? And that has been a huge component of me being able to be open and not being afraid. Because I know as our veterans, and thank you to all of our veterans, I just read this the other day, man, I know Christ has always got my six. So I don't have to worry about it. You know what I mean? And when you have that, that's a huge thing. So I say all that because I think it's one of those things that would us, all of this, would Building a Refuge, Clark, everybody that we're involved with now, be here if we didn't experience this. And here's the deal. We did experience it, so it doesn't matter. So I know everybody that's kind of a part of this organization, we have like-minded hearts and like-minded minds, and we want to just help. If we can help one person, that you know, that's the goal, right? So, no, listen, you know, I'm like I said, man, I'm grateful, Sheri, because you know, you, I know. We probably got to get you worked up a little bit to, to talk, but I love what your perspective is, and I think it's important for people to hear that, not only from you as an individual, right? Because we've always done this with one another. Our individuality is very important to one another. So your perspective is you as Sheri, as a female, and as you as a human, and how you see things in terms of what the changes and what we've all been through. It's important, and I just think it's important for what we do in Building a Refuge for people just to hear that. It
is, and I mean, you could try to revisit, you know, woulda, coulda, what's going to be, but I would prefer not to go there because I feel like it is a beautiful thing. Yeah. I mean, you know, to lose family is not, but the beauty that what you're bringing. Yeah. To that loss, is amazing. Amazing.
Well, you're a big part of it.
Amazing.
I mean, you are. You're a huge part of this, because if I didn't have this support that I got from you, that would be a big piece that's missing. You know what I mean? Would it mean that I wouldn't do it? Probably not, because I probably still would do it. But having that additional piece is a benefit, and it's a blessing. All right, so next kind of topic I want to jump into, with you is kind of us, right? And we talked about this last night a little bit, and that is kind of how us as a couple, as we're celebrating 32 years, right? Pretty amazing. Yeah. Right, buddy? But like some of the challenges that we've been through in life together, right? And how that kind of parallels mental health, mental wellness, things like that. Because again, I think I don't know this, but I think just in a healthy relationship that we do talk a lot, for one. And I'm grateful for that. But I think that's a huge help in terms of where I am mentally.
Communication is key, right?
Yeah, right.
I mean,
it's huge.
In anything, in general.
Right?
Yeah.
But, we went through a lot of things in life. I mean, to having this guy over here, 1994, 9 months and 3 days after we were married.
Surprise.
But, yeah, he's like our wedding present, right? So, look, he's like, I don't know about that.
Oh, he's a gift.
But
for
I mean,
sure.
yeah, we're blessed, super blessed, more than anybody knows. But but like raising kids is a challenge. Raising little ones are a challenge. Financially, and this, so we'll get to this in a minute, but financially it's a challenge because you got to put out a lot of damn money for kids.
A lot.
Sports equipment, baseballs, mini bikes.
Let me hold on.
Okay.
Let me tee this up because
All right.
I have a bunch. Like that's kind of what I focused all of
Yay. All right.
the
let's
questions.
Hear it.
And
Oh,
topics
cool. All
I
right.
have.
Love it.
So,
Yeah, I love this.
And
Producer
I'm
Austin.
just going to kind of start from the beginning.
All
So
Yeah.
this is right after you guys got married. So
Okay.
Early on, right? I know I came not even a year later, but early on, the beginning of your relationship, what was one challenge that you guys kind of faced and together, now you don't have to sit here and think for 15 minutes about this, if you got one that pops up and he's got a different one, but what was just like one early on, right after, newlyweds, first week being married type challenge. What kind of challenge?
First week being married. Whoa. I'm gonna let you take this.
A challenge?
Yeah. Just a challenge
I
of
don't
the
know.
early
I'll
times in marriage.
I will, but I'm gonna be patient here.
Where'd it go?
You want me to go?
Just go then.
How about when we were going to the wedding? Do you remember Craig and Dee's wedding and coming home?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the wind whistling through the apartment window.
Yeah, it was a metal frame, by the way.
We were pretty quiet.
Yeah, we were. We were like, hey, what are we going to do?
So, just for our audience again, so they understand, as we were coming home a month after we were married, Sheri says to me, I'm late. And I'm like, what are you late for?
We were 23.
She's like, I'm late. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like how late? She's like, what? I'm late. So we said, well, we better pull off and get a pregnancy test. So we did before we went to the wedding. Got it. Went to the wedding. Had a great time. Craig and Deanna, love you.
Yeah.
Get home. And so that thing was positive, man.
Really positive.
Like that thing was
quickly.
Like
positive.
yeah, quickly. Like it didn't take the 90 seconds I think that it said on the box. It was like bam. So to your question, Austin, being married now, Mom and I had known each other up to that point for about 2.5 years, I guess, right?
But we had went to school together, graduated together.
Yeah, that's a whole other
The whole
podcast
thing.
all in itself. but so you just think like we just got freshly married and we're having a kid. And we're living in a one-bedroom apartment.
Yeah, one bedroom.
One-bedroom apartment. I'm working at the hospital making, I think, maybe $8 an hour.
Yeah. Pretty
But it was
close.
1993.
It was
so
a long time ago.
I mean, but we made it. we laid there and we just, I think both of us probably, well, I know we were because we've talked about this. I mean, we're just like, oh shit.
What are we going to do?
But then we woke up the next morning and it was like, all right, we're on. Like, let's go. You know what I mean? Like, I think we were just so excited to tell everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really was a beautiful thing.
But it was, so that is a big, that's a big moment. And so what I'll say to it was, Austin, is like, oh man, like from a guy's perspective, like shit's getting real now. Like it really gets real. But what I'll tell people is this, don't overthink it.
Yeah.
Like don't overthink it. I mean, I'm 55 today. We basically, 32 years ago in a month or whatever, listen.
We didn't know how we were going to do it, but
don't sweat it, man. I mean, life is beautiful, and just don't sweat it. So, yeah.
So, with that being said, like, would you say, I guess, the biggest challenge is, like, did you guys ever, like, any disagreements or anything with it? Like, I'm obviously, couples fight, couples argue, but, like, were there any, what mental stresses were going on? Like, I know, Dad, you mentioned, like, oh, shit, like, how are we going to afford this all financially?
Yeah.
And, do we need to move? Like, what, was there any, like, emotional ties or, I don't know. I can't think of the word right now, but kind of between you two with that.
Just
how did you deal with it?
With finding out Mom was pregnant?
Yeah, and the stresses that had come along with it,
I think I put more of it on myself than like anything else.
Yeah, I mean, we like you said, we weren't making a lot of money, and like we were just like, wow, that financially that's gonna be like,
But there was never never was a question between me and Mom like, what do we do? We were like, man, we're having a family, man. Let's go.
No.
Well, so let me ask you this too, then, Dad. Like you said, you put a lot of it on yourself.
Yeah.
And obviously. Back in 1993, that would have been at the time.
Yeah.
There was nothing to talk about that. I
No.
think it kind of just goes back to our point.
No, mental health
point.
was not a thing
obviously.
at all back. I mean, mental wellness was not talked about back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'll say this. Probably what helped me the most, and Sheri probably would agree, was my friend Anthony Robinson.
Yeah.
Big Pops, man. Shout out to Big Papa. Anyways, he and I, man, we would sit and talk for hours. You know what I mean? We would sit. I worked in a pharmacy, and so we would be in a clean room, essentially, which is a room where you're preparing IVs and so on and so forth, or medication. And we would just sit in there, man. We'd talk all day long. You know what I mean? So I had, and this is the thing, man. Again, when I zoom out and I look back. You know what I mean? And how the Lord works in our lives and how he does things. Like to have Anthony as such a great friend, and he's still such a great friend today. I did have that outlet. You know what I mean? I didn't realize it at the time. You know what I mean? Because I still would drive home and going, Jesus God, man. I'm like, how are we going to do this? Like, how are we going to do this? And Mom knows back then I was pretty intense, man. Like I would get, Mom you probably saw this, Sheri. Like I would get frustrated about stuff. You know what I mean? And either yell at myself, and never yell at Mom, but yell at myself or get mad or whatever. You know what I mean? I had a bit of a temper tantrum.
I think that statement you just made right there goes back to even the question you asked Mom about what she's seen, how she's seen you change since 2015 with Brent's passing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I can even go to say that because I was sitting here kind of thinking it, and it was, I've just seen you gain a lot more emotional control.
Yeah.
I guess is the best verbiage I can use for it. It's that, you have all of these tools that have always been around us when you're angry, sad, whatever it may be. Didn't know how to use them, but now,
So I'll ask a question back to you, because Mom's pretty balanced. But have you seen Mom change at all?
Not really.
It's great. I love that answer.
Really.
No,
Mom's
I love it.
Level through.
Mom's always been. I'm telling you.
I think I just know I can't control things. Like it's not that I can't control things, but things that are out of my control, I can control. So I'm not going to try to control them or worry. I mean, I worry. Don't get me wrong. You all know I worry. But I don't. I know it's all good. I mean, no matter good or bad, it's
Yeah. No, I mean, and that's
go.
why I asked you that question, Austin. I knew kind of where you were going to go with it because you have always been very balanced. Like it took me a while. It took me a while I should have understood it when you went and bought all those flowers for our wedding and I freaked out, right?
Yeah. I forgot about that. In our one bedroom apartment, they were everywhere.
and then like it was amazing. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Me and my sister had come back
from right? Yeah.
Joann's or somewhere, and I had all these flowers. I was going to make all these flowers for our wedding, and he's like, "What? That
Yeah.
And they were beautiful.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. So
saved us a lot of money.
So much money, man. Like I said, we were stressed. But all right, I'm gonna kind of fast forward a little bit ahead. To some of the, I think times, when these guys were older. Cassidy, our daughter, amazing, blessed when she came along in 1997, but. Austin, you prepared us, so we were in good hands, man. By the time Cassidy came along, we were like, this is gonna be easy, man. Like we're good.
Let me ask this. So now Cassidy's born, 1997.
Yep.
Say a few years go by. It's early 2000s.
Yeah.
And how did you guys manage, raising two kids, but while also keeping your marriage strong?
Oh,
deep. I know.
It's a good one.
It's a good one.
But yeah,
it is. It's busy.
How are the
right?
tools on that between cheerleading, baseball, football?
It's busy,
and then finding time for the two of you as well.
Yeah.
I always feel like Dad and I are a team. Like we've always been a team, and it's not easy, right? It's not easy. There's times when you're just like, "What are we doing?
What the f?"
Who's going there? Who's going there? What are we doing?
Yeah, I think to Mom's point, man, like we always have known we're just in this together. You know what I mean? Like there's never been a moment where I was felt like, you've been like you're doing your own thing.
Yeah.
Like you do your own thing.
But I think it comes from respect.
Yeah, but what's weird is like you do your own thing all the time.
Yeah.
But yet we have always been on the same page about stuff. Mm-hmm. And so in communication, Mom mentioned this earlier, communication is huge. You know what I mean? Like we talk. Even when we were dating, we talked. We'd talk and I'd fall asleep on the phone. You know what I mean?
That's the thing, is just communicating.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're, and again, for people that are listening in, man, I don't want people to just think that we think that everything is just, unicorns and butterflies and roses and sunshines. Because believe us, we've been through some shit that has challenged us big time, and individually, and I keep bringing that up.
That could be a whole nother show.
Yeah, individually, we have had to navigate life individually, but we've always navigated life together as well. Mm-hmm. And I think that, to your question, Austin, is the one thing that probably why we've been able to stay bonded like we have been, over 32 years.
Yeah, and I think, when we were younger, yes, we had challenges with kids. But as you grow and your parents age and people they age, there's different challenges.
Yeah.
The challenges change, and
absolutely.
And they can be very overwhelming, but again, to navigate it together and to communicate, what we're going through still isn't easy, but
no, it's not, and that's kind of where I was going to too. When Austin and Cassidy got into high school, that's a whole other phase of life that you're a part of. And here's the thing for our audience as well: our kids, Austin here, but they're of the age where they didn't have these, man. They didn't have cell phones and technology and all this shit that's going on today. And so, although we still did deal with things like that, back in school, we dealt with some of that. We just were on the very front edge of it.
Yeah.
But, I guess, Austin, I don't know, man, tell me, tell us, we always seem to at least once a week, twice a week, sit down at a table and have dinner, hang out, talk about shit, whatever it might be, we always would sit down and talk about it. Now, I know as anybody else, there's probably things that, you don't talk about, and that's normal, right? I don't talk to some shit about stuff to my parents, right? It's just normal. Somebody going through your car window. But I mean, but we did, for the most part, we did a really good job, I think, of like having those times, and they weren't forced. I mean, I don't feel like anytime we're like, oh, you gotta sit at the dinner table, blah.
No.
You know what I mean? Like we just naturally just kind of did it. You know what I mean? And so I think for me, anyways, that was a huge help. Just as a family, you know what I mean? As a family to kind of
Vegas Scrabble.
Vegas Scrabble was awesome. It's definitely a good night, Yeah. Never forget that. Taco Tuesdays are always good.
We might have to bring Vegas Scrabble back.
We should definitely bring Vegas Scrabble back. But Sheri, let me, because again, I told you, man, an hour goes by pretty fast. How from a wife, from a mom and stuff like that perspective, how did you see, I guess I've kind of asked you this, I mean, I guess in terms of change and so on, but do you kind of see that the same way as I do in terms of like how we navigated things? I mean, is there anything different that you would share with our audience from that time frame? You know what I mean? Because I want to take a few minutes here at the end of it to kind of talk a little bit about us too, right? But I mean, like raising a family, to Austin's questions that he's had around that, like how do you see that?
As in a change?
Just in general, like how do you see, what do you attribute to, us being able to navigate the mental pressures of life? You know what I mean? That we went through together, over that time period.
I mean, I think, it has its challenges, but I think we were young and we grew together, and
Let me ask this question in a different way. What advice would you give?
There you go, good one.
Other women, wives, girlfriends, to a husband, or they have a husband, a boyfriend, or something like that may be struggling financially, with the loss of a family member, a friend. What going through what we've gone through and how you have supported Dad. How what advice would you give other women that their husband may not be opening up to them on how, not how they could get him to open up, but just how to be there?
I mean, I would probably, if they're in a spot, like seek out support, like seek out whether it's professional or, somebody you trust, like seek out support within yourself. But also like with your are you talking about like significant other, like how to?
Yeah. Just like with significant other, it could even be your brother. It could, it could be your brother. It could be your close male friend. It doesn't have to be a significant other. But how, what advice would you give them to push is the wrong word, but push them to, break that glass ceiling and share emotions and what their struggles are that they're going through?
Well, first of all, I would say be true to yourself. I mean, don't change yourself. And be realistic with yourself and what's going on too. Don't tease yourself, and don't sugarcoat it. Don't, be real with where you're at and seek out that support of somebody you trust or.
Yeah. I mean, I would agree. I mean, it's your perspective, you know what I mean? So
yeah, I mean, sometimes it's hard, like more of an example. I mean, you gave a great example, but I still depends on where you're at and what you're dealing with too. Like
well, it's very true.
Levels of.
But I think you've kind of. I mean, you've said it best too, Sheri. I mean, I think again, having trusting somebody, right? We talk about this a lot, so I don't think it's a whole lot different. So I don't feel like we got to force it, but like find somebody you trust.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Get up, make a new friend. One of the things I really like how Eric will Eric Robinson, our other, co-founder, he'll phrase this sometimes is like, if there's a lady that is at her house that doesn't want to leave and she's stuck, right? Mm-hmm. What would you say to her to get her to come out and open up and express maybe something that they're going through? Because we ask this a lot of guys, like, hey, what's going to bring a guy out of the basement?
Well, I mean, it just depends again. For me, I mean, I guess I guess it just depends on the situation and the person themselves. I mean, you know, I don't know. I mean,
I think. Would you say just to trust? Like, get out and find a friend. Get out and find somebody. Find a group, right?
Yeah.
Like volunteer or get out. You know,
exactly. Or
force
just,
yourself to just ask.
You know, I guess sometimes it's hard for me to answer that question because I find, you know, I find help not within myself, but I go out in nature. You know, those things heal me. Those things help me.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I talk to my friends and a lot, but
Right.
I think for me, the most healing thing and when I find answers is just getting out there by myself or doing something I love or,
Yeah.
you know, like to your point, volunteer and just, you know.
Yeah, no, I mean,
feel the world around you.
Yeah, it's not to put you on the spot, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, I think, don't take it that way. I think we just, we have you here, right? So we want to ask these questions because we don't always get this perspective. And I think it is, important because I'm hoping that, maybe there is a lady out there that hears this and she's like, man, I'd really like to talk to Sheri.
Yeah, and
you know what I
mean,
mean?
I love to talk to people, but
yeah.
sometimes it's hard for me to wrap my brain around the whole thing. Like, it's just, it depends on who you're talking to and what you're talking to. And like, I need more.
Yeah.
Info of people. Sometimes.
What other questions? You got any more, buddy? You got any more teed up there? If not, I'm going to jump into a couple that I got here online because these will be fun. Like, how did you get your nickname Squirrel?
Do you want to answer that?
I mean, I can. How did
a lot of people ask me that.
Yeah, so how did you get the nickname Squirrel?
I think because I'm always moving about, like squirreling around.
Yeah,
I never stop.
I think was it Brenda that gave you that name? My sister. I think she was the first one that called you Squirrel.
I think she was. Yeah.
You have been called a hummingbird before though too.
Yeah, because I'm just busy.
Because you're a busybody, that's right. Yeah. And Squirrel just kind of stuck.
I mean, I am and I'm not. You know, I mean, I like my.
Well, you move around. You do move around a lot.
Time,
yeah. So to the questionnaire out there that asked that's how she got it. She's a pretty busy girl. Mm-hmm. The other question was where was her first kiss? Where was it, honey?
It was on the dance floor of Sports Bar downtown. On Penny Bear Night.
Inquisitive minds wanted to know that was it.
That's
dance floor at Sports Bar, man. Yeah, right.
On Penny Bear Night.
Yeah, so it's kind of fun stuff, right? I mean, that was in probably like June of 1991. I think Pearl Jam just dropped their first album. That was pretty badass.
Nice.
I always relate things back to music for some reason,
Always.
But I think CNC Music Factory probably was on the dance floor and we were just cutting a rug, right?
Everybody dance down.
That's good stuff. Okay, so as we kind of go into the next phase here, because I did want to focus on a little bit about us, but I'll ask you, and what do you think has attributed to us having a healthy marriage over the last 32 years? Is that too big of a question?
No.
No.
I think it's give and take.
Yeah.
I think it's admitting when you're wrong.
That's fair. That's true.
I think it's communication.
Yep.
And I think it's just a genuine love for one another.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. And having
fun.
fun.
From my perspective, I think I say it's the old,
hey, your perspective doesn't matter, buddy. Hold on. You guys keep talking. I'm going to go do something real quick.
From I'm talking about both of you here. And from my perspective, it's like the old cliche where it says, don't go to bed mad.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think I can never remember in my life a time that the two of you went to bed mad.
And exactly, Austin, we haven't, and I don't remember a night that we have either ever in 32 years or more. But you never know what tomorrow's going to bring. So you you can't go to bed.
I'll ask you this question now, and then I'll ask Dad again when he gets back.
Okay.
Was there a time, maybe it hasn't happened yet, but was there a time that you guys kind of looked at each other and it was like, we did it? Like, we made it?
Oh, yeah. Like, many times.
Yeah.
I don't think there's just one time. I think there's a lot of times. I mean, you know, my heart just went through it the other day when we were riding motorcycle with you. Yeah. And again, it's like, we did this. Like there's many times, and that makes my heart pitter patter, because there's many times that we're like, wow, we have overcome. We have. I mean, we've been through a lot together.
We have. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah, so I don't know if you heard my question.
I didn't.
I said I'll ask Dad when he gets back, but was there a time, and I said there, you know, I was like, there may not happen. Yeah, there could be multiple, but where you guys kind of looked at each other and were like, we did it. We made it.
I don't know, man. I don't know if like that's yet. I mean, gosh, I don't know.
I just said many times. I mean,
yeah.
I feel like I feel like we're like, my gosh. I mean,
our first anniversary when we ate frozen carrot cake.
Well, even and just our kids might be playing in the yard, and it's like, wow, you know.
I mean, shit, I could say that right now. I mean, that's what I said. This is a blessing to be able to do this.
We were riding motorcycles with him the other day, and he's out in front of us, and I'm like, wow.
That was really, Mom. I think
my heart.
Yeah,
that's my heart.
That got Mom. That kind of tugged at your heart, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think any time when you can just reflect on, you know, the good and the bads of life, man. I mean, shit, you know, like we've like, and listen, we're not any different than any other family out there that's lived life and been through hard times. I mean, everybody's going to lose somebody. I mean, we're not, you know, mortal where we're going to live forever. Mm-hmm. And it's hard. Like, that's probably the hardest part of life. I think the first, for me, together as a couple and us as a family, probably the first loss, you know, that hit hard was when Grandpa Liam passed away. And it was so sudden, and we were all out at, you know, Grandma and Boompa's house and having our Halloween kind of deal. And everybody was there. You guys were there, and we're all together. And even that is a blessing that we were all actually together when it happened. But, you know, that was hard. That was the first, you know, kind of close, you know, family member that we lost. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then, you know, as time kind of went on, you know, we lost Grandpa Olson and Grandma Liam, and you know, and then obviously, you know, that we've shared about with everybody, obviously the big kind of punch in the gut was when we lost Brent. And that's just,
and then my dad
and your dad. Yeah. Well, that year, like we talked about this, right? I mean, that year, that time frame from 2014, to the end of 2015, 2016. That 12 to 16 month time frame, man, we lost a lot of people.
And in the
a lot of friends and family.
We were caretaking at the same time.
Well, sure.
You know, and it
that's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah, we can go into a whole nother.
I mean, that's a whole other. I mean, that's why I love this, man. And maybe, you know, as time goes on, we develop this a little bit more. And if you're interested in being a guest on here and talking about it, man, come on. We love guests. But, I mean, it's a good point because, I mean, you know.
There was a lot of factors within factors.
Yeah. But so
we
that's
were juggling.
And to Austin's point, I would think, you know, Sheri, one of the big things, like we would lay in bed, Austin, at night after these days, and we would talk. Mm-hmm. And we would ask, like we would sit in bed and do this. Like we would talk. We'd ask each other questions. And that's, I think, a huge key to how we navigated it. Mm-hmm. And how we continue to navigate it.
No one's right or wrong.
I mean, Austin, the day you came to us and told us that you needed help, ask Mom, man. I mean, we laid in bed that night just going, one, we were just thankful. But secondly, like, how do we navigate tomorrow?
Yeah.
What do we do tomorrow? And that's never going to stop. Like, we're grateful for that. That's never going to stop.
Yeah.
So it doesn't stop today. I mean, we still do it today. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, that's just what we do. And I'm, you know, man, it's, you know, life is going to always throw challenges at you. Life is always going to kick you in the nuts. Life is always going to, you know, sucker punch you at some point in time. You know what I mean? But I mean, that is one of the big reasons why we started building a refuge is that there was no place out there that we could just come and do this, you know? Mm-hmm. And I can't tell you how grateful I am to you, Clark. You know, he's sitting over here, man. I mean, we wouldn't be doing this if you hadn't come into our life and allowed us to grow this, to be able to sit here and do this. I mean, it's a blessing that Sheri and I can sit here, and I hope somebody listens to it down the road. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But what happens when you get this locked in, it's there now forever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The fact that it's on a streaming service, at least as long as the internet is rolling, you know, it's there forever, right?
Well, and it's the connection, and it's real.
Yeah.
You guys are real. It's not like you're trying to put on this facade.
No.
Just, you know, for your own. It's real.
Yeah, I appreciate that greatly, man. So a couple of things here. We're not going to wrap it quite yet. I want to talk about something that's coming up. We have a couple of events coming up. One this weekend where we have been asked to help out, and that's what we do. So thank you again to all of our veterans. We appreciate everything that you have done for us and the country greatly. But this weekend, Austin and I, a.k.a. the Building a Refuge Smoke Crew, is going to be out at the American Legion in Noblesville, Indiana, doing a fundraiser with them. We are going to be roasting a hog, so come on out and see us. We're going to be there all day long. Maybe we'll have some fun stuff to give away. Who knows? I got some T-shirts and crap that we can give out, but yeah, we're going to do that because they've gone through some challenges themselves, and you know, the commander and some good friends of mine that I ride Harleys with, you know, asked like, hey, can we do something? And I said, yeah, man, let's do this, and we'll do that. So that's coming up this Saturday. Food's ready at 4:00. Live music, a lot of fun stuff. So if you're around Indiana, Noblesville, Indiana, just look it up. American Legion Post. I think it's 40. I'm gonna forget 45. Okay, 40. Thank you, producer Austin. Let's see, that's what's great having here.
Wow.
Post 45.
He's on it.
And then coming up, October 25th. Third annual, right? Chili Cook-Off, brought to you by LDR Studios and Harley-Davidson of Indianapolis. Come on out, man. This is going to be fun. My man Clark over there was the champion 2 years ago. It was second place. 2 years in a row, Clark? Not last year. He's still a little salty about this. It was a tie, but half his family never even put their chips in the cup. So technically, you know. What was the recipe? Are you going to share it or no? Oh, brisket. All right. Anyways, so Building a Refuge, we've done this. It's a lot of fun. Harley David is doing their trunk and treat, or I don't know what they call it, but they're doing their Halloween festival that day too. So we're going to have some live music at that. It'll be going from 12 o'clock to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It's a $10 donation. You can taste all the chilies that you want.
Great chilies. How many were there last year?
Shit, I think we had 15.
Yeah.
15 chilies.
They were awesome.
So, yeah, come on out to that. That's October 25th. That will be our October meeting. And then we do have something in works for November that's going to be yet to come. So one of our recent refuge sponsors, we're going to work a little something out for No Shave November. So we got some pretty cool stuff happening at the back end of the year. But what's that? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, start now, exactly. Yeah, me? Shit, yeah, dude. I don't like. I wish I could. Joe's beard is amazing. Like that's a 5-star beard, dude. Like that is fantastic.
No, it is.
It is.
It really is.
I wish I could grow that.
He's looking so cool.
Yeah, I know, right?
He's Joe Cool.
So anyways, we just appreciate everybody's support so far. But with no further ado, Sheri, I think because it is our 32nd anniversary, and thank you so much for coming on, man. I'm so blessed beyond belief that we can, you know, do this together and hang out and share with the audience anyways some of our, you know, life stories and stuff like that. But hopefully it helps somebody out there, you know what I mean? So we're going to pop a bottle. Any other questions, Austin, before I do this?
No fun questions.
No fun questions? All right, man. Well, we're going to... Oh, Clark's got one. What do you got, buddy? Ooh, most memorable? We've been to a lot of shows together.
We've been to a lot of shows.
Huh? I mean, I don't know. We've been to a lot of...
Yeah. I mean, that's where we came up with Cassie's name.
Listen. Ooh, that's beautiful.
I think, I mean, the Dead Show where everybody came over the wall. Or one of the first concerts we went to, remember they had like a amusement park out there, and
Deer Creek
yeah,
Fair.
Deer Creek Fair. I always remember that. We've been to so many.
Clark was a jet ski racer. Sheri?
Jet ski races at Deer Creek.
Yeah. Clark was a jet ski racer back in the day, man.
Yeah, I bet he was.
I'm sure you raced Lake Indy, right? You raced on Lake Indy. Down in Broad Ripple? Oh, yeah. That was a hot spot, man.
Well, anyone
like
want
when
to share?
like when I was at Gallons, Clark, you wanna? Yeah, grab a
Joe
cup.
wanna
Grab a
get in
cup.
on it?
Nope, Joe said he's
Joe,
good.
It's all right.
Okay, buddy.
Easy.
I know. Well,
Hey, Clark, you're messing up my frame.
Joe's gonna cheers. All right, man. Hey,
Cheers, guys.
thank you guys for everything, man. So Sheri, here's the 32 years. Here's the 32 more,
And then some.
and then some. I love you.
Love you too.
101 more than you know. So,
Bunches.
hey, thank you guys all for joining us tonight. We hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you tune into us on YouTube channel. Go out to all the social media sites. Love us, like us, all that stuff. And hopefully we'll get Sheri back sometime.
Maybe.
All right. Peace out, man. Cheers.
Guys, before we go, go out. If you are in crisis or need help or anything like that, go out to buildingarefuge.org. We have many different outreach sources on there. It should be up now on the screen. You can also call the National Suicide Hotline number at 988. And another good, useful tool that we have is you can text REFUGE to 494949 for an anonymous conversation about whatever it may be that you are going through.
All right.
Hope you all have a good night.
Thank you, Austin.